Welcome to From the Den podcast, providing Bears and NFL fans alike with compelling news, discussion, and debate. I'm your co-host Benjamin, joined alongside my dear friend and co-host Oren.
Hey Benjamin, let's get right into it. As always, kickoff starts now. So, when you look at a Matt Nagy offense, like a Kansas City, all those type of offenses, what type of quarterback do you think fits the mold of a Matt Nagy offense? Because there's Patrick Mahomes, who was good in a Matt Nagy offense, who's more of a really just as a cannon. You look at Alex Smith, who succeeded in a Matt Nagy offense. You look at Carson Wentz and Nick Foles, who succeeded in those offenses. So what do you think, how would you build your perfect quarterback for that offense?
Well, I think unquestionably in a traditional Bears offense, a game manager type of quarterback would succeed more. But Matt Nagy's offense is more off of the West Coast, and it's a little different than more traditional Bears offenses. So I would call Nick Foles more of a game manager, and he would fit in more traditional Bears offenses because he's less sporadic. Trubisky has highs and lows, whereas Nick Foles was pretty bad in the games he started in the Jaguars, but generally he's a consistent guy who can fill in, and he was great in his years in Philly winning the Super Bowl. But as for Matt Nagy's offense, the difference comes in that Matt Nagy tries to make Trubisky throw more. So clearly last season he was searching for more of a game changer at quarterback than a game manager. So which quarterback should fit the mold? I think that Nick Foles should be the guy because he would fit in a more traditional Bears offense that would work for this offense. But I hope that Matt Nagy will not try to force Trubisky to fit the mold by trying to make him more of a game changer, which that isn't him. So long story short, I would say it's Nick Foles.
So what player fits his offense more? Obviously Foles does because he knows it more and Foles throws less interceptions. But if you take skill and skill alone, because if you're building a quarterback, skill is one of the biggest things that you need to build in a quarterback. Trubisky is way more skilled than Foles. He is in almost every aspect. I'm talking about skill. So I'm talking about physical skill. I'm not talking about how you can read a defense because that's not physical skill.
Right,
because,
like talent.
I think in a Matt Nagy offense, for example, you need more of a mentally strong quarterback in the sense he can read defenses and all those things. I think that's more important than
I think in general it's more important. Even though you can't teach talent, you can teach skill. If a quarterback is talented and they're not completely they still have some athleticism, they'll generally do better in this league than vice versa.
I mean, yeah, but who's the best quarterback in the NFL right now? Mahomes. I don't think that there's not a huge argument with that.
That's true.
Mahomes said he learned how to read defenses the middle of last year. Yeah, he won MVP without knowing how to read a defense a whole year.
Well, of course, when you can have both and when you can have others, it's better. But there are lots of naturally athletic quarterbacks who throw lots of interceptions and don't turn out well. They might turn out well in college when they can run around and scramble, but then when they come to the NFL, there are more complex defenses. So it ends up not working out too well for them.
Yeah, and I think what's unfortunate for the Bears is that Matt Nagy doesn't necessarily – he came in and they tried to build around – when Matt Nagy came in, they tried to build around Trubisky. But the actions that they made this offseason seemed like they're kind of leaning towards now Matt Nagy is our coach instead of Trubisky, who when Nagy came in, Trubisky was the guy who you're saying we're building this team around Trubisky.
So now you think they're building it around Matt Nagy instead of Trubisky.
Exactly. And I think it's kind of annoying that they took 2 years to really decide on which one they're going to do. And I think you could really go either way because I truly believe that Matt Nagy is way better at his job than Mitchell Trubisky is because let's not forget, Matt Nagy was the coach of the year. And I get that's not necessarily a great award because it doesn't actually show who –
It's a narrative-based award.
It just shows whoever improved the most in 1 year.
Mm-hmm. But
it still shows something. No bad coach wins coach of the year. So I think that Trubisky, if you won, let's say, just any award, like a real award, then there could be an argument made there. But Matt Nagy just was able to do better. And when you look at NFL teams, whenever a team does bad, who gets blamed? The quarterback and the coach. And that's why last year you hear people saying, oh, Trubisky's terrible. And you hear people saying, oh, Nagy's terrible. And then you don't really know what your opinion is because so many people need someone to blame, and they're going to either blame Nagy or Trubisky or both. So I think that Ryan Pace said, you know what, we're blaming Trubisky. We're going to go get Foles, and we're going to go Nagy. We're going to let you choose your offensive staff. We're going to go build around you. We're going to draft tight ends, which is such an important position to your team, even though we already have Graham. And I think that just building around Matt Nagy means that they really trust that Kansas City offense, the Andy Reid offense, which means that they're getting a quarterback that fits the mold, which is, I would say, more of a mentally strong quarterback than a quarterback who has a gift. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't think Mahomes necessarily fits better in Kansas City scheme than in any other scheme. Mahomes is just so dominant. No matter where you put him, he's going to be good. I think that no matter what the scheme is, he's going to be dominant. So I don't think it's necessarily like Mahomes is better because of Andy Reid's scheme, but I think that Trubisky is worse because of Matt Nagy's scheme.
If you enjoyed this episode of From the Den, please remember to subscribe, comment, and like this video.
Or, if you're a Packers fan, remember to dislike and leave a nasty comment. Click the links on the screen to access additional content.